An extension in the state of emergency in a second parish in Jamaica gets the green light from one House of Parliament. And in sport, a legendary cricketer says good batting is crucial for the Windies going into next year's World Cup. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, March 28th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
This search and rescue event is just a drill, but in the event that it is real, Tobago now has 28 emergency responders who are certified and well-trained in light-level urban search and rescue. This means that when buildings collapse and victims lie injured on the rubble, their lives can be saved due to the newly acquired skills of technicians.
Back in Haiti, I started drawing since little.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I came here, I mean, of course, New York.
Okay.
So went to Prospect Heights High School.
Okay.
So that's when I really
got into your craft.
Got into drawing and.
Okay.
We begin in Jamaica, where the state of public emergency, which was declared in part of the parish of St. Catherine earlier this month, got the green light from the House of Representatives to be extended until July 3rd. A resolution brought by Prime Minister Andrew Holness seeking the extension was approved by the House yesterday. The resolution must now go to the Senate. The state of emergency in the St. Catherine North Police Division took effect on March 18th. In making a case for the extension, the Prime Minister gave an update on the status of crime in the area.
There has been no report of murders in that space, and I knock on wood for that. There has been no report of serious crimes, and there has been no report of abuse by the security forces.
The opposition People's National Party raised no objection to the extension, but the party's spokesperson on national security, Fitz Jackson, had concerns. He noted that declaring a state of emergency is an extreme provision under the Constitution that is only designed to be used in extreme circumstances.
And indeed, the high levels of murder over recent times represent an extreme situation. But, Mr. Speaker, we did not arrive there overnight. It was allowed to fester, and we are where we are. While we have no objection to the state of emergency, and we will not object to the request for the extension that is before us, because it's a temporary measure, Mr. Speaker, by design and by provision in the Constitution, the urgent question on every Jamaican's mind, what happens after?
Trinidad and Tobago has raised eyebrows for refusing to give support for hurricane-ravaged Dominica. The Eastern Caribbean nation recently sought to get a waiver on its contribution to the Organization of American States, the OAS, in light of its rebuilding efforts. But at the last meeting of the Permanent Council of the organization, Trinidad and Tobago's ambassador to the OAS, Anthony Philip Spencer, insisted that Dominica should still pay, even if payments are deferred or made in installments. We get more from Akash Samaru of CNC3 News.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, the island of Dominica is in the process of rebuilding. Last year, in a matter of days, the Caribbean country saw its economy collapse dramatically. At the last meeting of the Organization of American States on March 23rd, its ambassador explained the uphill battle.
The post-disaster needs assessment also concluded that Hurricane Maria resulted in total damages of US $931 million and losses of US $382 million.
In light of that, the Dominican ambassador asked OAS members to support a proposal to waive the island's quota contributions to the OAS for the years 2018 and 2019, as it tries to get back on its feet. And while almost all of the OAS members agreed to waive the fee, which amounted to just around $15,000 to $20,000 US, one country did not.
Trinidad y Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago would wish to offer its expressed reservation again here, but consistent with the position adopted in other multilateral fora in the hemisphere. This delegation again wishes to offer for consideration, propose for consideration, the option of the deferral of payments of contributions, and where possible, the implementation of a payment plan that is subject to annual review.
And while the motion still passed despite this country's reservations, TNT's position did take the Dominican ambassador by surprise.
I'm a little bit, I must say here, I'm a little bit unsure of one of our member states' concern, and I see clarity from this council.
Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Legendary former West Indies captain Sir Vivian Richards says the Caribbean side will need to improve their batting if they are to compete at next year's World Cup in England and Wales. The 66-year-old, considered the most feared batsman of his generation, said West Indies had gotten away with totals during the recently staged ICC World Cup qualifiers, which would definitely be punished by the bigger teams. He said, quote, "There were a few matches that I believe that came up short in terms of runs, but at the end of the day, they had the bowlers to defend whatever they scored. But in the big league, they will need to score more runs." Sir Viv was a member of the Clive Lloyd-led Windies team, which won the inaugural 50 overs World Cup back in England back in 1975, but is best remembered for his sparkling 138 in the second tournament 4 years later, as the Caribbean side successfully defended their title. He was captain of the side which lost 1983 final to India, also in London. Selectors have named 3 uncapped players in a 15-man squad to face West Indies in the historic 3-match T20 series in Karachi next month. Asif Ali, Hussein Talat and 17-year-old Shaheen Afridi have been rewarded for their form in the recent Pakistan Super League, but veteran Kamran Akmal has been ignored despite plundering 425 runs, including a century and 4 half-centuries. His age, he turned 36, 3 months ago, and his poor fielding was reported to be the reasons behind his non-selection. Shaheen is a left-arm pacer who impressed at the recent Under-19 World Cup in New Zealand and was also outstanding in the PSL. The 26-year-old Asif is an explosive lower-order batsman, while Talat, 22, is a highly regarded all-rounder. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.